Hey, what's up everyone? It seems like forever since me and Todd last filmed these videos. If you don't know what's been going on in Texas, we had snowstorm and then me and Todd got rained out. So it's been 3 weeks now since we started filming, but we got an exciting lens to talk about today. We're gonna be looking over the Sigma 28-70 f2.8. Now, this is made for full frame cameras. And we got a lot of exciting things going on in here. Now, this is not an art series lens, this is a contemporary. And the whole point of the contemporary lens is to keep it as lightweight and small as possible, but also having a perfect balance of the optical quality in there. So Sigma is saying that the optics in here are based off the Sigma Art 24-70, but the exterior is going to be different and we're not going to have quite as many elements on the inside as we do with our 24-70 2.8. So right out of the box, this lens, the first thing you're going to notice on it is how small and compact it is. We don't have a lot of autofocusing buttons on there, focus limiters. The only button we're going to have on the side is just going to be an autofocus manual focus switch. But one thing I do want to touch on is the size. So this is a 28-70 2.8 all the way through. So we got a lightweight compact zoom. This is going to be slightly smaller than if you've already seen the Tamron 28-75, and that's expected. This is only going to 70, so I see what you did there, Sigma. But if you're needing that extra range, then maybe this isn't the lens for you. But we're not going to talk about why this lens isn't for you. We're going to talk about why it is for you. I prefer to shoot with fast primes, and zooms for the most part at 2.8, they're either really expensive or really heavy, and for a lot of shooters, that's not something that you can pull off when you're going out shooting. So a 28-70 with really good glass inside of it and opening wide up to a 2.8, which I think is more than enough, this is gonna be the lens for you. Speaking of the optical design, we have 16 elements and 12 groups in the lens. That is going to have 2 FLD elements, 2 SLD elements, and 3 aspherical lenses. Another thing to note is the front element is also coated with repellent on that for water and oil. One thing to note as well, when you do grab this lens in your hand versus the Sigma Art series, is this does feel a little bit more plasticky, and that's all gonna have to do with the cost factor and keeping it lightweight. So one thing to keep in mind is that Sigma is putting a lot of time into the elements inside this. You're not gonna get all the buttons, you're not gonna get, you know, the fancy what do you call it, casing that you would get with another lens. But Sigma is saying that this optically is gonna perform up there with its Art series. The 28-70 2.8 has a 9-blade rounded diaphragm, so you're gonna get a very circular bokeh out of this. We also have a 67mm thread on the front end, so that is very common for a lot of people out there already shooting. So more than likely, you already have filters for this lens. For the motor, we're going to be using a stepping motor, so it's sure to be silent when shooting. This lens is going to be perfect if you're looking for a daily driver, as I'd like to call this lens. It does cover a decent amount of focal ranges, so 28 I feel like is enough wide end for majority uses, and 70 I feel like you can get some really nice portraits, especially on a 2.8 aperture if you want that blurred out, you know, depth of field type look. Another thing, this is going to be 470 grams, so if you are like me and when you're out doing photos, you want something that's very lightweight, well, this is going to be perfect for you as well. Another thing that I love about it is going to be the pricing. So it is $899. Now, I know I compared it earlier in size to the Tamron. It's also very similar in cost to the Tamron. That one cost $879, I believe. This one is going to be $899. So I feel like the price is very reasonable if you're looking for a full frame 2.8 all-in-one lens. $899 is a good price. Another thing, guys, this is going to be sold in L mount and as well as Sony E mount. Today we're using the Panasonic S5, so obviously we're using the L mount version. We're here at Mayfield Park down in Austin, Texas. We've shot here once before with Alyssa. Today we're shooting with Taylor, so let's jump right into it.
Soon
All right, everyone, so we just got finished shooting with Taylor, so now it's time for some final thoughts on what I thought overall of the 28-70 2.8 Contemporary by Sigma. Overall, I really enjoyed it. 28-70 is a little bit different in terms of focal lengths. There were some moments where I was like, okay, I could see how this isn't wide enough for some people. And then I shoot very often at 85 millimeters when I'm doing it portraits, and some people even shoot further than that at 135. So 70 sufficed and got me that separation I was needing, but I would have enjoyed to see this go a little bit further than just, 70 millimeters. Overall, very, very lightweight. I'm shooting with the S5, so that in itself is already just small and compact. I was actually talking to Todd just a second ago off camera, and he was asking if I enjoyed shooting with the S5, and my comment back was it feels a little small in my hand, but for people who are wanting it lightweight and compact, that camera paired with this lens, and then just remember people, this is a full frame lens as well. I mean, you can't beat this. I could take this around with me all day shooting, have no issue. So I see what Sigma was doing with this lens, and I'm happy that they came out with this. There was really no competitor to something in this size besides your 28-75 by Tamron, and I think this is right up there in terms of optical quality, build, look, everything. We were taking photos, and I didn't get to review them too much after we were taking this from the final thoughts. On the wide end, wide open, it does tend to be a little bit softer on the edges, and you can see in some of the photos that we're providing. And then once we stopped down, it did clean it up. But my favorite shots overall was when we had Taylor at the park that we're at. There's this little house and it had this little walkway, and I was zoomed into 70 at 2.8, and we just had some nice soft light, and those were really, really sharp, and overall my favorite photos that we took all day today. So everyone, once again, the price for this is gonna be $899 US at the time of this video. And I don't have the exact date, but it is coming out soon. So just keep a lookout for the pre-orders at precisioncameraatx.com. And that brings me to the next thing. Remember, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on our next video.